Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 22, and it's time for another career mode. It's time for Le Mans of the French GP. So in pole position, another qualifying where we dominated. We wait for the red lights to go, and away we go. So Grant gets a great start across the line there, into power setting 3 for now, but I think I'm going to have to reduce the power setting quite early on, or maybe I'll just go for it in this one. Not entirely sure, but I do know that AI doesn't offer enough of a challenge in this circuit. It was the same in MotoGP 21, as Somkiat Chandra just gone down into the first corner, not even into the Dunlop chicane, and unfortunately for him, the end of the Grand Prix. We're now into the right hand side for La Chapelle for the very first time of asking. We're going to be bringing on the power quite aggressively. Now at this point of recording this video, I'd actually been playing a lot of Ride 4, so a little bit sluggish, not quite got the braking zones just quite yet, but I still feel relatively good. But I'm curious to see how we're going to get on with this one. Am I going to be consistent? Am I going to be struggling? I guess we'll find out, but for the next couple of videos after this one, I'm beginning to get back into my stride. Done a few more videos recently with MotoGP 22, done some racing online as a matter of fact. Beginning to get the feeling back for this fantastic bike game, but now into Shimano buff for the first time as we flick to the right hand side, very close to exceeding track limits that time around, but we're still pretty solid on board the Boscoscura chassis. So into the blue S's then, 1 second clear from Celestino Vietti. This race may or may not be as enticing as the one in Jerez a couple of days ago. Of course, that was a brilliant race that came down to the final corner. Not sure if we're going to have the same thing here going into Recordamon for the final corner, but you never know. Still using power setting 3 right now. I'm going to try and get in the fastest laps I possibly can, and then maybe consider dropping it down to the second power setting. And also at the same time, I don't want to be running out of fuel. I know in Jerez we left it very late, like we had only a bit of fuel remaining, but a quick update on the top 8. No signs of the championship, or the other championship protagonist, should I say. I do see Arbolino, the runner-up of the Jerez Grand Prix last week, and of course Augusto Fernandez. He's up there somewhat, so I'll have to keep an eye on the Spaniard who's currently leading the World Championship in real life. And Celestino Vietti, of course, not seen him much in MotoGP 22. In real life, he's doing a stellar job, but right now, not seen him. So this could be very interesting. We could be engaging with battle with Celestino if we make any more mistakes like we just done going into Garage Vert. But Augusto Fernandez on the podium in the battle as well as Aaron Canet. But look at the gap behind. Judging by the graphic in the bottom left hand corner of the screen, it's probably just Grant and Vietti within a second of each other. I think the rest are actually fallen by the wayside quite a bit now. So this could be a very intriguing race for the rest of this video. Now the heart rate still sticking roughly around the 100 beats per minute. 103 at the moment time. Now thankfully that hasn't glitched any more times. If you watched the live stream a couple of weeks ago, it glitched where it stuck at like 111 constantly. It did actually go up to 173, but yeah, it was an intense battle, that one, but it's not that often that happens. Celestino Vietti, fastest man on track. Only 0.8 of a second. He's taken 0.2 away from us in that lap. Did not see that coming, I'll be honest with you. I'm still using power setting 3, and the fuel doesn't seem to have depleted as much as I would have assumed. Now, I know my current feeling with the bike is not quite there yet, but I didn't expect to be losing 2 or 3 tenths to Celestino behind. I took the gamble with the soft option tyres. That's why I'm trying to make the breakthrough. But with the soft front it seems to be okay, but I'm a little bit concerned with the right hand side of that rear tyre. Definitely going to be paying attention to that one for the rest of the Grand Prix. But going into Garage Vert now for the 3rd time of asking, very well entered into the 8th corner with a strong acceleration out of turn 8 going into turn 9 for Shimano buff in just a moment's time. We do have an advantage, but 6.5 tenths of a second is not that much. Not when you're competing against Celestino Vietti. And something we have noticed within MotoGP 22, the AI gets stronger towards the latter stages of the Grand Prix, and sometimes even in the middle. So we're going to keep an eye on that for now, because I expect that could be the case for this video. And you know what? I would happily have that because it's a little bit boring defeating the AI over and over. So I'm hoping that the AI can give chase and really push me to my limits here today. But across the line, we have kept the lap time very similar. It's another 1:36.4, but Augusto Fernandez 0.4 of a second quicker than the championship leader right now, and the current race leader here in the French GP of Le Mans. This is surprising. This is very surprising, but I'm all for it. Race on, ladies and gentlemen. Rub our hands together and let's see what happens. Into La Chapelle, we are 0.5 of a second ahead of Celestino Vietti. Now, is Augusto Fernandez there or thereabouts with Celestino? There's yellow LED on the left-hand side of your screen there. Someone went down. Impeccable timing as that popped up on the screen. But now I'm really curious to see what happens. We've got a good lap coming here, ladies and gentlemen. This could get us into the 1:35, so very close to, if we can keep on it. Coming out of turn 8, a little bit eager on the acceleration, but 0.3 second clear than the previous lap time. One thing we have got so far is a bit of consistency. If we get another 1:36 low, I'll be a happy man. But sliding the rear into turn 9 here as we go to the right-hand side for that change of direction. You've got to be brave and got to be confident as we went onto the rumble strip. But look at the difference now. 0.7 of a second. Yep, I wasn't at my best, but we're getting there. We're definitely getting there as it's now 7.5 of a second. This is definitely going to be the first 1:35 lap of the weekend as we go a little bit wide into the final corner, then into record mode for the sweep, and then bring on the acceleration to get across the line. It is a 1:35.549. Wow. Okay, the soft option tyres are feeling good. Amazingly, the fuel has stayed the same. We can still use power setting 3 at 0.4 laps behind. I'm only going to have to probably drop to power setting 2, maybe towards the end, but I don't know. Penultimate lap? Probably should consider dropping it down very, very soon. But as we are neck and neck with the previous lap time, or at least the previous sector time from the previous lap, this is looking promising. Hard on the brakes will go into Musée for turn 7, a little bit deep, but it's not a problem for the left-hand side there, because you can then swoop it round with a nice gentle amount of acceleration. Now the rear tyre is getting a hammering, but I guess we could say the same for the front as well, because it's a lot of angle braking in this circuit, not as much straight lining braking as the graphic would suggest. A lot of sliding in and moving the bike around. It's my style really when it comes to the Moto 2 machines, but braking after the Moto sign and sliding the rear in once again, a little bit eager that time around, but still very promising. Very promising indeed. Just a 1/10 of a second adrift from the previous lap time, which was, incidentally, the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Another yellow flag has gone out. No sign of Pedro Acosta in there, which is probably our main championship rival. Tony Arbolino's still in there. Joe Roberts in the top 4. Brilliant result for the American right now, but a bit wide as the final corner. Surprisingly, no track limit warning. Well, I'll take it though. I'll take that. And across the line, it's another 1:35. It's a 1:35.844. But we are now dropping the power down to power setting 2, and the horrible realisation, I think the fuel may be glitched. So maybe we shouldn't have been using power setting 3 all that time, because it's still... Oh, it's changed! It now says 0.3. So hopefully dropping it down to power setting 2 should be enough for us to still maintain the fuel. Have I just made an absolute blunder here? We were a little bit too relaxed in this one, I've got to confess, but going into the left-hand side from Musée, we've lost 0.6 of a second. Make that 0.7, make that 0.8 of a second that we have now lost. Dropping to power setting 2 on the final lap of the Grand Prix, when Celestino and the AI is going to get stronger and stronger. This gap is rapidly diminishing. It's down to 6.5 of a second. We have now lost a full second, and we're going to have to drop to power setting 1, ladies and gentlemen. We are neck and neck with the fuel right now. Down to 1/10 of a second. Celestino Vietti has taken over the front. What has just happened here? Head to a handbasket, ladies and gentlemen. As Celestino Vietti and Grant do battle into turn 10. We're not going to have enough power. We're not going to have enough speed. I cannot believe this. Has this come to an absolute devastating end from the championship leader? We now have literally 0 fuel remaining. This is going to... We're going to have to try and do something here. I don't think it can even fight, but we're going to go for it anyway. Why not? Into the final corner for 13. Turn it into the right for Recordamon. Oh my goodness, do we have enough fuel to get across the line? Hang on, is it like, oh, it just died! Well, I did not expect that. Goodness gracious. Well, we took the win, but goodness me, that's not how I expected that to happen. We had an insurmountable lead, which disappeared on the final lap, but Grant held off Vietti and Fernandez to take the win. So after the first time this season taking back-to-back victories, we have extended our championship lead to 76 points ahead of Augusto Fernandez, 81 clear from Sam Lowes, and now 85 clear from Pedro Acosta. Now we'll look at the team championships after the French GP has concluded. Red Bull KTM IO just 19 points behind MB Conveyors Speed Up and 55 points behind for Elf Mark VDS Racing Team. Well, a shocking end to this GP. It certainly wasn't how I expected it to go, but we got the victory and that's all that mattered. A familiar sight, this podium, isn't it? But guys, thank you very much for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you like this content, be sure to hit the like button, consider leaving a comment, and also consider subscribing as well. Thanks for watching and ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.